Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Grown Up Girls podcast. I am Shikha, and with me is Prachi. And today we're talking about something that's very close to our heart and also foundational to the podcast being here and in front of you. And we spoke about a little bit about it in the last episode when we talked about how our friendship got featured in, one of the publications, and they talked about how we found each other. And today we're talking about friendships. So, Prachi, tell us, why are we talking about this? Why is it so important for everyone and relevant?
Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of the Grown Up Girls podcast. And tonight, Shikha and I are talking about something that I think is plaguing a lot of people in my experience, which is adult friendships and specifically friendships after the 30s and the 40s.
Hmm.
I'm seeing this in a lot of my clients and my friends and all of that. And I see a lot of people verbalizing how hard it is to find good friends. You can probably find a boyfriend, you can probably find a date, but you cannot find a friend. It's just becoming so much more difficult. And we thought, let's unpack today, what is it about adult friendships that makes it so hard? Is it even hard, or are we doing something wrong? And is there something that we can change about
Hmm. And I think so, such an important thing. It's becoming really a struggle. So, before we get deeper into it, let's start by, talking about that. Do they actually fade away, the friendships? Do they fade away, or do they just fall apart with time? What's your take and even your experience?
I think a lot of them, yes, do fade away because life happens to all of us, and
Hmm.
you know how that meme circulates, right? Okay, adult friendships are just about texting each other, hey, we should catch up, and then
Never
just
catch.
following up on that text after 6 months and just saying, oh yeah, we should, and then this whole cycle repeats again.
Yeah.
It's so hard to coincide calendars with full lives, with businesses, with work, with
Hmm.
kids, so many things going on. It's really, really hard. My own college gang has been trying to meet up for years now, but there is no single time when somebody's kids does not have exams
Yeah.
or something or the other is going on. So
Hmm.
yeah, a lot of it does fade away, but I think there's a deeper layer to it, and I'm realizing this through my own friendships. As we become adults and we grow up, the same friends, well, all of us have one or two friends who've stuck with us, let's say
Yeah.
since school or college. We start to see those friends from the adult lens, like now
Hmm.
adult to adult, right? And I'm realizing that there are a lot of patterns that did not stand out to me when I was with them in school. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, was this person always like this? Like, why am I friends with this person? You know, right? Like, what
Yeah.
is this? And
Hmm.
then I think it takes a little bit away from that free spirited, innocent,
Yeah.
uh, no holds barred kind of friendship that you used to have with that person. And now you're just like, yeah,
Uh,
okay, you're doing the conversation. So
yeah.
you don't really feel that energized. And after a while, you feel like, okay, maybe I don't want to hang out with this person so much.
Hmm.
I think these two things are really interesting in terms of how friendships evolve and devolve over time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's like when you look back, we don't have the same journeys over
Mm.
the years, right? I mean, when we are in our 20s, we're all going through the same things. We are
Yeah.
passing college, we have, the same subjects and, the same kind of challenges, exams, and all of that. And once we grow, life kind of takes us to different places, and we all grow and evolve differently, and we have our different priorities. That makes it extremely hard to kind of keep up. Also, I think another thing with women, especially when they get married and things like that, they tend to kind of move away from where they were, right? I mean, I think I have realized that for myself. Most of my friends have moved away from the city. We're not in the same city anymore. So that's
Yeah.
another challenge altogether because you're not in the same city. You can't catch up every now and then. When they travel, they do. So it takes a little more effort to kind of keep it
True.
going. So that's really like the logistic kind of thing. And like you said, the limited energy that we all have. There's
Mm.
so many things that we do. Though, and there's a beautiful thing that Simon Sinek says that when it comes to going and meeting friends or having a meeting, we would always cancel on meeting the friends and do the meeting.
Yeah.
That's just how much of a priority do we really put on it. But it's so important because it's such an important foundational part of our life to have good friendships.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
don't think we look at friendships as survival, right?
Oh, yeah.
We look at partners as survival. We look at our jobs and livelihood as survival.
Mm.
Maybe even parents as survival. But
Yeah.
I think friendship comes the lowest on that list of priorities. And I think
Yeah.
that's why what you just said, that we would prioritize a meeting or we would prioritize anything over going
Over.
with a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and it's not until we are all alone or it starts to pinch us that we start to think,
Mm.
oh, right, like I need friends.
Yeah. But there's
And
also like a lot of unspoken resentment, right, when it comes to
hmm.
friendships. Um, School, something happened in school or college, and that is still in the mind as fresh
Oh
as it
yeah,
was
tell me
like
about it.
yesterday. This one was, a bitch to me or an asshole to me, and you carry that on, and then, you still like, ha ha ha. And then after a while, it just kind of becomes so big that you don't know how to address it, but it kind of just takes away the joy of being friends with that person. So,
Yeah, and I'm sorry to say, but some people do not grow up.
oh, yeah.
They are still the same. And there are times when in a group, either in a school group or a college group, I'm like consciously trying to tell myself, she's not the same person. She's not the same person. Like, okay, whatever vibe you had, she must have changed. She must have evolved. But then you see this exact same dynamic playing
Pat-
out. I'm like, I can't. I
yeah.
cannot.
Our tolerance kind of really goes
Yeah.
down on it, and that alignment is not there. But have you moved through like the grief of uh losing an old friend, or at that point feeling like, oh my god, this is something that I'm letting go of, and then realizing that it's the right thing, that this is happening.
I think so, yes, because I think I can think of two friends in this context, and a male and a female both, where one was like, well, we were literally like joined at the hip in school, and with the girl, we were inseparable in college, and different reasons. But for one person, it happened that I realized that, like you were saying a while ago, his life journey was completely different, and
Mm.
after a while, and mine went on a completely different track. And I thought that because we are so close, that's never going to impact how we show up for each other.
Yeah.
But I realized that that doesn't happen like that, because depending on the context you are in, you tend to
Mm.
see other people's lives from those lenses,
Yeah.
and you may inadvertently end up trivializing someone else's issues,
Mm.
और telling them, oh, but ये इतना difficult नहीं है यार, तू ऐसे
Huh.
सोच ले ऐसे हो जाएगा.
Huh.
You're not there, so you don't know, right? And then
Yeah.
after a while, that ability to relate kind of fades
Goes
out.
down.
So
Yeah.
you make a very conscious effort ki, okay, I guess I'm going to have to reframe
Mm.
how I look at this person from here on. And because
Mm.
you've been so close, it feels really sad to, even though they will still be in touch, even though you will never tell them or you'll not have a fight or a confrontation with them. But in
Yeah.
your mind, this is not that person. That person is gone.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
that acceptance in our own mind is what kind of really leads it to unfold differently from there on.
Exactly, exactly. And for another friend, it's been like, we've had some misunderstandings over the years. With another person, I've had to actually reevaluate what I thought was being besties, but
Hmm.
I was just doing it one-sided.
हाँ.
राइट, मुझे पता
Hmm.
ही नहीं चल रहा था कि मैं वन साइडेड कर रही हूँ, जब तक कि क्योंकि अभी तक ऐसा कोई मौका ही लाइफ में नहीं आया था जहां पे शी हैड टू
Sure for
शो अप
you.
फॉर मी.
Yeah. Hmm.
राइट, तो जब आया, और वो भी एक हैप्पी ओकेजन ही था, बट शी
Hmm.
डिड नॉट शो अप फॉर मी. शी एक्चुअली फॉरगॉट, लाइक शी completely like sidetracked. So that hurt, that really hurt,
Hmm.
and I did confront her about it, and she made a very like a very this thing about it. Yeah, no big deal, ठीक है ये वो. And then I think later she did feel guilty and she did make up for it, but then
Hmm.
that moment had gone.
Yeah.
Then it forced me to look back on 25 years of friendship and think like, yeah, like I every time she went through something, I said that I'm here for you, you want to talk and this and that.
Mm,
But I went through a lot of stuff and she never once asked me, how are you doing? Are you okay?
mm, mm.
So this is another kind of grief that we probably face in friendships where
Yeah,
something will happen and will make you reevaluate the entire history. And I think that is very jarring. That can be a
yeah.
very more depressing experience than not making a friend.
Yeah, exactly. And to let go and then to think that, oh my God, it's going to be so hard. And you think about 25 years, right? I mean, it's a huge number. And then you think that probably I'll never have another friendship for 25 years. And then do I really want to let this go and forgive this person? And, all of those things that come up. And I think one thing that really kind of helps me in these times is to let go with grace,
Mm,
to
yeah.
know that, it was there to kind of serve a purpose. But maybe I have changed, or she has changed, or he has changed. And that's just what life is. So rather than creating more resentment by still wanting the same thing and not getting it over and over again and letting that build up, it's just nice to say that, hey, this was great. And especially to yourself. Maybe you don't spell it out like that to the other person, but, to your own self that it was great while it lasted. Maybe it needs to change from here.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't need to be like the same intensity anymore, and that's important because otherwise it can really create a lot of hurt.
If you look at it that way, I think even though it takes away some friendships, adulthood does give you the gift of grace, you
Yeah,
know.
it does. And also, unless you let that go, that's very difficult for you to get and make space for someone, another friend,
Mm.
someone who aligns
Who
with
aligns?
this version of you. I mean,
Yeah.
who probably had similar experiences or adds value to your life in a way that you seek right now, like the support that you were just talking about. If we keep hanging on to the same people,
Mm.
and we keep resenting them, but we still hang there, you're creating so much negativity around the whole relationships or friendship. That's very hard then for someone else to kind of come in and be offer you space, right? Because you're
Mm.
not giving them the space to come in.
Yeah, true, very true.
So yeah, I think that's just another thing. And
और if you're looking at it from a jaded lens, right? Like कि
हाँ,
पहले ऐसा हो गया तो अभी नए
हाँ,
लोगों को भी वेलकम करके क्या फायदा, मतलब वही होने
hmm,
वाला है टाइम्स.
hmm. What do you think makes it so hard to kind of find new friends? But like for you, what's the hardest part?
Mm, I think मेरे लिए तो it is a double whammy because being a therapist,
Oh yes,
every
I think we have
kind of
spoken about this. Huh.
every kind of relationship is so difficult because you're like, and you try, right? You really try hard to keep your radar off and stuff, but it's just so ingrained, right? So then you start listening to somebody, you meet someone new, and then you're like automatically going into, okay, this is why she's saying it, and maybe this is what, maybe this is the kind of history is coming from, and I hate it. So, and it's not the person's fault, right?
Yeah.
That's one problem. I'm trying, like, I have tried to overcome it, and I've had good friendships. In fact, lately I've made a very good friend who is also a psychologist. So I think we are able
Hmm.
to, cancel
Mutually
each
judge each other.
other, cancel each other's radars out like that. And we have a pact that we are not going to get into any psychologist like conversation.
Yeah.
We will gossip, we will do all kinds of time pass conversations that you can think of, but we are not going to get into that, and we've stuck to it. So
Hmm.
that's good. I think that's
Yeah.
one. Other than that, I think on a general level, what makes it hard is uh, because we are used to those school and college, like, these kind of friendships,
Yeah.
we still expect to find soulmates in every friend.
Hmm. Yeah. That's a big one.
है ना, कि मतलब थोड़ी
Hmm.
देर भी अगर किसी से कुछ कनेक्शन डेवलप हो जाता है तो वो एक्सपेक्टेंसी ऑलरेडी डेवलप हो जाती है दैट ओ वाओ, like now we're going to be chuddy buddies, and like we'll hang out and we'll go shopping together, we'll make plans together and all of that, पर
Yeah.
वो वैसे ट्रांसलेट नहीं होता है. This is something I have to really like program into my clients also, and this is something I've had to teach myself as well, that as adults, one thing you will learn is gradations of friendship.
Hmm.
You have to stop looking for soulmates in every friend, because
Yeah.
that will not happen. Maybe
Doesn't.
one person,
Hmm.
in like 50, you'll find one person. But you
Hmm.
can't be looking for it in every person. You have to start
Yeah.
looking at it when you meet someone new and you click. Just stay in that moment and you ask yourself, in which aspect of my life is this person adding value?
Yeah. Very important. I think this is extremely important.
Right?
Hmm.
So somebody can be a shopping buddy, somebody can be a drinking buddy, somebody can be a coffee person. I go out for coffees with somebody who
Hmm.
loves to go to farmers markets and browse. Somebody is a reading buddy,
Yeah.
and then somebody, maybe one or two people, will be a 3 a.m. texting friends.
Hmm.
Right? This way, you take the pressure off of taking on the burden of building something and forcing something and all
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
and just looking at this person for what they can add to your life, rather than trying to generalize it and trying to fit it into some template of friendship that you have from your early years.
Also, another thing, Prachi, I think it's okay to kind of have friends just for fun.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong about it. And those are the friends that you probably don't have serious conversations with at all. You just go
Yeah,
have fun with them, go
exactly.
dancing, if you like drinking, go drinking with them, go to clubs, or just like a nice brunch. Don't have any serious big conversations. And it's also okay to have friends with whom you have big conversations, but you probably don't go out and do the other stuff with.
True, and God knows, I think in 30s and 40s we can use a lot of fun.
Exactly. Right. Precisely. I mean, that's just what it is. And also, it's a great age to have friends across age groups.
Yep.
So you could have a younger friend who likes to, if you have the time, you could have more fun. And then that's my thing, right? I don't have kids, so I have more time than most people in my age have. So I don't have to look at schools and lunch boxes and all of those other things.
Yeah.
So I have younger friends with whom I would go out dancing or
Yep.
just chilling. I have older friends on whom I would lean in for wisdom and having those deeper conversations. And then I have friends my age, of course, who are at the same timeline and have moved through something in their life. So it's like a mixed bag of all of that and just keeps it so different and so much fun. And that's just something that, I enjoy. But
Yeah, but
personally, if you ask me,
I have
I'm
to say
sorry.
here that I think I must mention this here, that the friendship that you and I have developed, I feel like it ticks all the boxes
Yeah,
for
oh
me.
yeah, it does.
It ticks all
Yes.
the boxes.
Yes, it does. And we are so touchwood
Yes.
lucky to,
Yeah.
kind of have found this. And it's just in the most unexpected, beautiful ways,
Mhm.
really. So, yeah, I mean, and for me, that way, the challenge has always been, and it's not been with you, is because I am overall an introvert, as though even though I may not seem like an introvert, but I am an
Mhm.
introvert in the sense that I can have conversations with everyone, but there's it takes me a little time to kind of share things about me and be open and all of those things. And that's one of the things that I have to personally overcome in
Yeah.
friendships or,
Yeah.
getting close to people. This is just one of the hindrances that I have. Um, let's also talk about how do you make peace with growing apart and, that guilt.
Hmm.
How do you kind of move through that?
So, Abhi, just when you were talking about the new flavor of friendships that we have to take up in
Hmm.
our adulthood, I was also thinking that one of the things to overcome is also the possessiveness about friendships.
Oh. Hmm.
So when you just asked me, ke, how do you like get past the guilt or the hard feelings of it? I think that's also one of the things that we should talk about, where
Hmm.
uh, we have to realign with the idea of not getting proprietary about our friendships.
So hard.
राइट वो स्कूल में चलता था, कॉलेज में चलता था, यू आर माई बेस्टी, यू नो इफ आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग टू हर यू आल्सो डोंट टॉक टू हर एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. Adulthood में वो नहीं चलता, it does not work.
Yeah.
And but those feelings can come up.
Hmm.
I sense that sometimes in myself, and I know that other people also go through them, that
Yeah.
you make a new friend and you have good conversations with that person, And then because now we have social media, so we see everything about everyone's
Oh,
life.
she's going out with her so many times.
And or you see her like going out and then you're like, oh, who did you go with? Oh, I went with a friend, and then you're wondering who, what
Which friend?
friend, which friend? She's
I
not
don't
told
know
you.
about.
So I think that's another thing that we need to overcome the jealousy in friendships, along with the guilt of having let go of old friendships. I think having let go of old friendships में शायद guilt तो तभी आता है जब we feel के हमने कुछ गलत कर दिया, या we
Hmm.
didn't show up enough, या
Yeah,
could we have done anything better or anything
better.
like that.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think it's mostly just sorrow and disappointment a lot of times.
Do you also think
Uh,
that the guilt is sometimes also the fact that, I mean, I don't know if there is stuff happening in your life, like, you've
mhm.
had breakups and things like that, and a friendship also breaks. Then
Yep,
you
yeah,
start kind of thinking that, am I not worthy of anything long term?
yeah, yeah, totally,
Uh,
absolutely. I think friendship breakups are worse than romantic breakups.
Oh,
All
yeah. Because then
they're
your one
always
pillar
more
is gone.
your pillar is gone. Like with friends, you don't have any kind of मतलब
Filter.
somehow एक inherent वो होता तो है थोड़ा सा romantic relationships में आप expect करते हो
हाँ.
कि हो जाएगा, but friendships you sort of you don't think कि इसमें breakup जैसा कुछ हो जाएगा.
Exactly. You don't associate a breakup with a friendship. You're still
हाँ.
prepared for a breakup in your
Exactly, but they do
relationships.
happen all over the place and they are so much more painful. You
Oh, yeah.
lose your social network,
Mm.
you lose someone to lean on without pretenses, without filters or anything like that. I think
Yeah.
that's sad. That's really
Yeah.
sad.
That's the tough part. Okay, so okay, that's all like the serious stuff around friendship. It's not
Mhm.
supposed to be so serious. So I want to ask you, which is your how old is your oldest friendship and how new is your youngest friendship?
Mm. So the friend that I was talking about, where I kind of reevaluated, I mean, I really appreciate the fact that she did show up eventually and she did make the effort. She did
Hmm.
realize that I'm hurt, and
Hmm.
I appreciate that. And I also it gave me um, maybe I don't know, like a more nuanced way of understanding her as well, like in a
Okay.
new light. So I
Hmm.
think she is my oldest friendship, which is from seventh grade, and that would be 1994.
Hmm.
So that's what, 20, no, more
20.
than 30 years, 20
Yeah, I
years.
guess. Yeah, more than 30. Like, clearly, we're very bad at maths.
Huh. Yes. Oh, well, I mean, whoever's listening to us can make their own calculations.
Yeah.
1990.
Yeah.
That's my oldest. And the youngest would be this girl that I was just talking about. She's actually, I think, about 12 years younger than me,
Oh, nice. Hmm.
but it doesn't feel like it.
Hmm.
And in fact, just this week, she reminded me that we completed 3 years of our friendship.
Oh, how nice.
We'd
How
gone out for a movie, and she said, "Do you realize that it was around September that we met for the first time?" And then we
oh,
looked at the WhatsApp chats to trace the exact date, and it turned out
yeah.
a week prior to where we were meeting. So we went back to the same cafe where we had met for the first time and had a coffee
Oh,
there.
I saw your story. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. That was nice. That was
So
nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
my
so
youngest
lovely.
one.
That's lovely. So 3 years and 30 plus years. Not
Yeah.
bad. Not bad
Yeah.
at all.
What about
That's
you?
amazing. Well, you know my oldest friend. We both know her.
That was
We've been,
another
yeah, that was
weird
another
coincidence.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know her and she's been my best friend for the last 38 years.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
Crazy.
long. Yeah. So so yes, and she's always been my best friend. Our friendship is like that, where oh, you can't call anyone else your best friend and things like that. And if she sees it, she'll like text me, oh, now she is your best friend.
Oh my
So,
God.
but it's done in like all that fun and all that. Now we've grown up, but I think it's just. I mean, I'm so grateful for her. We've always showed up for each
Um,
other. So I think that's just how it's survived. I mean, that relationship, which is kind of where you understand what it's like to have unconditional love for someone. I think it's just that. Again, my new friendship is also about 2.5 3 years old, so yeah, so again similar. Okay, she's a little older to me,
oh, wow.
but very very organic, and it's just like it just happened.
Hmm.
Again, She doesn't tick box all the criterias that I have, that, like 100%. But where she is supposed to be, I think she's just great. She just fits in beautifully in that space where I can, kind of talk to her about things and have conversations. So, yeah, I think that's great. And that's the lesson that I learned, that
Mm.
someone's not going to tick box every box in your life. Yeah. And I think that's been one of the, yeah, that's been my friendship journey.
Yeah, I hear you. I might have another one brewing because I just recently met someone for one of my book events. And she was the co-host at that event, and we just connected again with her also. I connected over Facebook, and we just planned out this event together, and it worked out really
Mm.
well. And I think there's a vibe. There's just,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
you get that, right? So my
right.
other two friends, so we also a gang of three girls. I mean, again, very very close BFFs as they call it, like trying to be all cool. That's also again 16 years old, and
Mhm.
first like full-fledged job and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, they just kind of survived through, and we've seen so much together. So that's again an interesting phase in life where you're moving through careers and heartbreaks and marriage and all of those things, and you kind of transition all of that together. And yeah, so I mean, different stages of life, different things, different
Yeah,
conversations
and
with.
I think something needs to be said about even those friends who you probably talk to once in 3 years,
Oh yeah,
but somehow you're always connected in your mind
exactly.
and heart. Like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
even if you're talking once in 3 years, that warmth is never less.
And you pick up from where you left. I mean, it's
Yeah,
never like you kind of have to think, yeah.
yeah.
So I think
There's
that's
no
the journey of it.
awkwardness, there are no weird silences, nothing like that. You're just like there.
Yeah.
So I
And it's so
think,
important to have the acceptance towards the other person. I think it's on that note, like before I delve into acceptance and before we start talking about it, what do you think is required to make great friendships or to find friends in the age that we are? So, like, late 30s and 40s. How do we really make space for new friends? What's your take on that?
I think we will have to let go of the idea that friends are just going to walk into our lives at this stage.
Mm,
That makes a lot of difference when you reframe your friendship ideas to proactively look for friends,
yeah.
right? I say this about love and partners, ke you can't go hunting for love. It has to come to you. You have to become the person that you are seeking, and then the right person will come to you. But I do not say this about friendships. For friendships, you
Work?
have to go hunting.
Yeah.
You have to go to places. One of the strategies that I always tell people is that go to places which have communities around
Mm,
the things that you like doing,
yeah.
because you are more likely to meet like-minded people over there. And at the end of the day, 25 लोगों से मिलोगे तो 25 लोगों से दोस्ती नहीं हो जाएगी.
Mm,
But you will probably come back home with one connection, two
yeah.
connections. And that's great because I don't think at 30s and 40s anybody is looking for like a
Hanging
gang
out
of
every day.
100
Huh.
party goers, right? Like they're
Yeah.
just looking for a couple of people that you can chill with and, like have maybe house parties with or something like
Mm,
that. So that's one strategy that I always say, that go to communities who do things or which are built around your hobbies and your interests.
mm,
Second is try everything. So
yeah.
if you maybe are not able to find anything around your interest, then try new hobbies. And honest,
Mm,
like I think one of the good things that has now happened, even though sometimes I feel like it's happening to a level of saturation, but is happening is that you have workshops everywhere.
of course. Yeah.
Right? You
Mm,
have painting, you have art, you have pottery, you have I don't know, model making and
mm,
so many things, craft and all of that, right? सब जगह जाओ आप, क्या फर्क
mm,
पड़ता है? It's just an
yeah.
art, right? Like
Mm,
it, if nothing else, you'll get to do something different for a while, but
exactly.
you will meet someone.
Mm,
That's the other strategy. And the third strategy is just honestly getting over ourselves.
mm,
There was a time in my life where I was going through a lot of things and I just cut off from everybody. Like I just withdrew from everybody because I thought they will not understand what I'm going through. Or if we end up talking, I will end up talking about what I'm going through, and I did not want
mm,
to do that.
mm,
So it was like a self-imposed isolation, and I did
mm,
not realize how badly I was sinking into it.
Mm.
Uh, because loneliness can also become comforting after a while,
Oh,
or just
yeah.
being alone, like, just in this bubble of yours, it can become deceptively comforting.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
So someone had to really shake me out of it and remind me that you are not this person. You like
Mm.
being with people. What has happened?
Mm.
Right. So then I had to make a very, very conscious effort to, if someone was suggesting a video call in a group, just join it for 5 minutes. If I don't feel like I'll step out.
Yeah.
And that kick-started the whole thing again. And well, I was able to build a new social circle and everything. So I think the third strategy I would recommend is just getting over ourselves. And um, yes, pajamas are comfortable. Yes, I would rather be in bed eating ice cream and rather than going out. But ठीक है, महीने में एक बार तो जा ही सकते हैं ना. Just
Oh,
go
yeah.
out,
Dressing up
meet
is
someone.
fun. Yeah.
हाँ, and if someone's calling you, honor that invite and see what it unlocks for you rather than thinking,
Hmm.
oh, there's nothing in it for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's important. Also,
What would you
another
say?
thing, yes, well, I think one of the things is also to understand what does friendship mean to you and what are you really
Hmm,
seeking?
of course.
Are you seeking a group of friends to,
Hmm.
like you said, like, do you want to do
Hmm.
house parties and you want a group of friends, so you want to join a group? Or you want a one-on-one friendship? Or
Hmm.
you in your life seeking someone that you can lean on to?
Yep. Yep.
Right? Because it's so important to know and then, go about in those kind of setups.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's one of the things that, like, for example, for me, the whole big group of friends kind of thing doesn't work. I mean, I don't have a known big group of friends. I
Yep.
have great one-on-one friendships because that's just how what works for me. So if I'm looking for a friend, I would look for a one-on-one friend,
Hmm.
ideally. So that's just my scene. So just
Hmm.
knowing that also kind of narrows down, and you're not like going everywhere and then saying, "Oh no, this doesn't work." So just take a little bit of time in doing that, and also a lot of acceptance.
Hmm.
And give it time. It's not something that's just going to blossom. Our friendship didn't blossom just overnight, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it took
Yeah.
its own time, and it's where it is because we gave it time. So, like dating, don't get into it thinking I'm going to get married to this person.
Same.
It takes time to know them and stuff like that. And the good part is
Yeah.
that you actually don't have to spend your all the time with them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just these things kind of help from my side. We talked about loneliness. I think one last thing that we want to kind of touch upon.
Hmm.
What's your take on loneliness and friendships? I mean, you spoke about yourself that, it kind of pushed you into not
Hmm.
meeting people and making you be someone that you were not. How did you kind of overcome that?
Like I said, I had to be probably shaken out of it by someone else. Someone else had to see it and uh, drive home the point to
Mm,
me.
mm.
But loneliness is a real challenge in today's world, which is so ironic given the fact that we are hyper connected.
Oh, yeah. Mm,
And the more we are connected, probably the lonelier we are becoming because I think now it's about uh, 15,000 likes or
mm.
40 comments or just like having a whole conversation under a post comment, but not picking up the phone to call each other and just having like a
Yeah.
genuine
Or
conversation.
just forwarding things to each other.
Or just
Holding.
forwarding. My son and I have this thing where we say we are in a relationship where we, where we forward reels to each other.
This
But
is
then
just,
this one, yeah, this one is a nice one because we have a ritual where we, before going to bed every night, we will look at those reels together. So it
okay.
kind of, it becomes a shared experience. But yes, I mean, we are in relationships with so many people. and and it's true, like I see this on LinkedIn, I see this on Facebook, like, and I'm also guilty of doing it so many times where I would write comments and they would comment back within minutes, right? Like we're having
Hmm.
this entire thing. But अगर बोलो कि अभी डायरेक्ट कॉल कर लो तो हाथ पैर ठंडे
No.
हो जाते हैं मतलब
Yeah.
अरे यार ठीक है बाद में कर लेंगे and all of that. I
Hmm.
think this is something fundamentally which has changed in us after COVID.
Hmm.
uh, I feel like that, and I think it's kind of depleted our social batteries.
Yeah, it does. Hmm.
है ना? So, and I think that is what is contributing to loneliness, and that's why I think it's important for us to remember and remind ourselves very consciously, very proactively, what social connection feels like.
Exactly. And also, I think thinking of loneliness as an opening
Mm-hmm.
rather than something that you kind of get used to. It's an
Yeah,
opening for allowing the right kind of person. So, actually understanding what does it
like
mean
a
for
signal.
me? Yeah,
Yeah,
like a signal. And having meaningful conversations is so important.
true.
So important, even on social media. I mean, we kind of like and stuff like that, but just leaving a comment every now and then when you actually or even to someone's story, just actually saying that, hey, this is great and something like that, which is a little more deeper than just the heart sign and
Absolutely.
everything.
I hate wishing people happy birthday on Facebook. I cannot do it. I always make it a point that at least on a birthday, I will drop a personal message
Yeah,
on WhatsApp if I
yeah,
can't call. But
yeah.
I do not wish people on social media.
Yeah, I
No.
think it's just absolutely pointless. So yes, this is really was our 2 cents on friendships, the way they're changing, the way we all deserve it, and the little extra effort that it needs from all of us to find a friend and keep a friend and to make sure that's nourishing for us as an
Yep.
experience.
And if today's episode made you think of a friend in your life, I am daring you to drop a text to them right after you finish watching this episode.
Absolutely. I mean, let your ego stay on the side. I mean, friends are totally worth it to invest in, and don't take the rejection personally because maybe it is not their stage, but you will not know unless you try.
Absolutely. And
All
on that
right.
note,
Yes.
we will wrap up today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And we'll be back soon with another episode that talks about an aspect of your life that you may not think about, but it really leaves a lasting impact on you.
Yes. So there is hope and a lot of hope. Take care of yourselves. These are two grown up girls signing off. Shikha and Prachi. Bye.
Bye.